Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, I am Tayyab Ali. Welcome to my channel Chess Essentials. Our today's video topic is understanding the knights. Knights are the most tricky pieces on chessboard and it is very difficult for a non-master to understand the knight because knights are short range pieces. There are some points which you guys must know about knights. Knights on the first and second rank are purely defensive, and knights on the third rank are defensive as well as they are ready to jump on an effective rank, which is the fifth rank. And knights on the fourth rank are as good as bishop. Knights on the fifth rank are usually superior than bishops, and knights on the sixth rank are usually a winning advantage because they spread disharmony in the enemy camp to such degree that sometime enemy sacrifice his rook to get rid of this knight. Now we will see some rules regarding the knights. The first rule regarding the knights say that knights need advanced support points to be effective, and support point is a square which cannot be attacked by other pawns, so knights can remain on that support point for some time. Let's see a diagram. In this diagram it is black to move, and black wants to put his knight on the d4 square. But right now he can't put his knight on the d4 square because if knight goes to d4 square then bishop can capture this knight. So first black decide to move his bishop to g5 so that after bishop trade the black knight can go to the d4 square, which is a good square for the knight, and knight is very effective on that square. So this was the first rule regarding the knights. Now we will see a game between the two grandmasters, Kavalek and Karpov in 1970. Karpov has black pieces and the game starts with the e4. Black play e5, white play knight c3 and knight c6. Bishop to b5, Roy Lopez, a6, bishop to the a4, knight to the f6, castle, bishop to the e7, rook to the e8, b5, bishop to the b3. After bishop to the b3, black play d6 and white play c3, black castle, and white play h3. Black play knight to the a5 and white play bishop to the c2, keeping the bishop on the board, and black play c5. Here white play d4, black play queen to the c7 and white play knight b to the d2, and black play knight to the c6, d capture c5, d capture c5, and white play knight to the f1, and white wants to put his knight on f5 or d5 by moving the knight to the f3, and then he can put his knight either to the f5 or d5. So here black play bishop to the e6 and white play knight to the e3, and black play rook a to the d1 and white play queen to the e2. And here it is black to move and black play c4 because black see the d3 square and wants to put his knight on this square. So black play c4 and white here play the move knight to the f5. Here you can see that white knight takes an aggressive post on the f5 square and black feels uncomfortable, but he can't remove the knight from here. If he play the move g6 to push the knight, then knight move to the h6 with the check and creates problem for the black. If black decide to capture the knight with the bishop, then after pawn capture bishop, then white this bishop will become active and can take an active post on the e4 square, and further white knight can also control this square by moving to the g5 and then to the e4. So black can't remove this knight from this post, so black play rook f to the e8 and white play knight f3 to the h4, and black play the move king to the h8 and white capture the bishop, and after queen capture the bishop, white queen goes to the f3, and now black play knight to the d7, starting his knight journey and hoping that knight can move to the c5 and then knight will move to the d3 square. And white here play the move knight to the f5, and after queen moves to the f8, white play bishop to the e3. But black here makes a blunder by moving his knight to the c4 because here white play the move knight capture g7. Here if queen capture g7, then white can capture the knight and white is up a pawn. So white is completely winning and soon white won this game. Here black can't capture the knight with the king because of the bishop I6 check, and after black king takes the bishop, then you can see that black king comes out and white will soon checkmate the black king. So in this game you can see that how to make use of knights by putting them to the advanced support points so that they can create problems for the opponent. Now we will see our second rule regarding the knights. Say that knights are very effective in the close position. So let's see a diagram. Here you can see that in this diagram the position is very close. Each side has 7 pawns and the center is locked with the pawns. So here white's plan is to make the move b4 and push away black knight. But first he does not open up the position because his king is unsafe here. So first white decide to move away his king from this side of the board to the other side of the board where the king will be safe. So white start moving his king with the king to the c2, and black play knight to the c8, and black play knight to the a7, and white play bishop to the b5. Because bishops are not very effective in these types of position, so in these types of position player actually wants to keep the knights and give up the bishop. Black captured the bishop with the knight and white captured the knight on b5. Here black play the move queen to the d7 attacking the knight, and white play queen to the e2 defending the knight, and black play rook h to the c8, and white play king to the e1, and black play bishop to the d8. White play king to the f2, and here black play a4 and white play bishop to the d2. Black play bishop to the e7 and white play king to the g2. Black play bishop to the d8 and white play rook to the c2, and black play knight to the b7, and white capture the rook on c8 and black capture the rook, and white rook moves to the c1. Black capture the c1 and bishop capture c1, and black knight goes to the c5. And here white play the move bishop to the e3, and black play bishop to the e7. White capture the knight and b capture c5, and here black play queen to the c4. Black queen goes to the b7, and white capture the pawn. So white is a pawn up. Here black play queen to the b6 and white play queen to the c4. Black play bishop to the f8 and white play a4. Black play queen to the a6 and white play king to the f2. White starts to bring his king now, and black play bishop to the e7. White play king to the e2. Black play king to the f8 and white play king to the d3. Here black play bishop to the d8 and white play knight to the c3. White wants to exchange the queen so that he can win the game easily, and black refuses to exchange the queen and move to the a7, and white play queen to the b5. Black play queen to the e7 and white play a5. Black play queen to the a7 and white play a6. Here black play king to the e7 and white gives check on b7, and after queen capture queen, a capture b7, black play bishop to c7 and white play king to the c4. Black play bishop to the b8 and white play knight to the d1. Actually white wants to move his knight from d1 to the e3 and from e3 to the f5 so that white knight can put pressure on these 2 pawns. So here black play king to the d7 and white play knight to the e3. Black play king to the c7 and white play knight to the f5. Black captures b7 and white capture h6, and here black resign because white is completely winning here because the pawn on the f7 is also loose, and white has now a passer which black can't stop. So black resign here and white win this game easily. In this game you can see that knights are very effective in these closed positions and bishops are not very effective, so it is useful to trade the bishops with the knights so that knights can prove to be effective. Now we will see third rule regarding the knight, and third rule say that knights are the best blockader of passed pawns. Now you can see in this position white has a passed pawn, but black can put his knight from the e8 to the d6 so that knight on d6 not only stop this passed pawn but also control many squares. And white bishop is not doing so much in this case because his diagonals are blocked by the black pawns and black is much happy here. We will see the fourth rule regarding the knight, and the fourth rule say that in the end game, when the pawns are on the same side of the board, then the side which has knight is in advantage. Now let's see a diagram. It has knight and white king is in check, so white king has to move. And now you can see that black king moves to d4 and black is gaining space, and black is the one who is pushing the white, and black will win the game easily. So these are 4 rules regarding the knights. Hopefully you have understand these rules, and now you can make effective use of knight during a game. You can make advanced support points for the knights. You can make effective use of knights in the closed positions, and you can block the passed pawns with the knights, and when pawns on the same side of the board, you can make effective use of the knights. So this is all about today's video. Inshallah we will meet again in our next video, in which we will discuss grandmaster games in which they make effective use of the knights. Thank you.